What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy Mortgage. Let's talk about it. I'm here with Nicole to talk about some of the interesting things when it comes to our interior design and staging, right?
That's
Nicole?
right, yes.
So what's going on? How are you today?
I'm great.
Yeah.
Jimmy, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm here. You know, we woke
Yeah.
up this morning. We're rocking out, right? Yeah,
That's
there
right.
it is.
That's right.
So Nicole, who are you and what is interior design all about, right? For some of us who do not understand it, need a real detailed information on that part.
Yeah, well, who am I? So many facets of who I am, but I'll
Okay.
focus on interior design in that
Okay.
context. So my name is Nicole. I have been in interior design and home staging for close to 2 years now. The reason why I started my business, which is called Cozy Space Sprucer, our tagline is minimal cost, maximum style.
I like that.
Yes.
Okay.
The reason why I started the business is because I remember around like 2019, 2018, I would see a lot of home listings that would stay on the market for a while.
Right.
And I knew why. I could pinpoint immediately looking at the floor plan of the house, how the furniture was arranged,
Right.
the way it didn't have a really good vibe or a style to it, that I needed to do something about it and I needed
Okay.
to help people. I know that, you know, with our economy, it has a lot of ebbs and flows. And
Right.
a lot of times people think if I want to, you know, hire an interior designer, a decorator, a stager, it's going to be a lot of money.
Right.
It's going to be a lot of hassle. It's going to be very complicated. So I really wanted to demystify that whole concept and make it more approachable, affordable, and attainable to everyone.
It's interesting you said that, right? Because with some realtors, they themselves also do interior design,
Right.
and, you know, to save their client money when they put the house on the market. They kind of sort of, you know, put that information out there. This is what I do. This is how I go about it.
Right.
But I also feel like that could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing,
Yeah.
right? Because in your mind, you may feel like that makes sense, but because you're not fully concentrated on what you're doing, seeing the trends and all the goods and bads and the color schemes and all that, that may be a disadvantage to that realtor sometime who's seeking both things. How do you combat that, saying like, you know what, we don't need interior design, I could do it myself? And you're like, well, no, you need me, because again, I'm going to help bring the home to where it needs to be. How do you combat that at times?
Yeah, it's a very good question. And from in the staging context, I deal with that, you know.
Okay.
I've had one of my realtor friends and connections, she has done her own staging. And when you see the staging that she does, it's fine, but it's really only possible primarily with an occupied home.
Unoccupied.
In
okay.
other words, a home that already has furniture, the seller lives in the home, and there's furniture to work with.
Right.
But what about a situation where it's a vacant property? There's no furniture, there's no decor, nothing.
Right.
I'm pretty sure the realtor doesn't have an inventory of couches, of chairs,
Right.
and paintings and all
Which
of
is
that
true,
kind
right.
of stuff. So it's two different, you know, realms. Now, a lot of times too, if it is an occupied home where someone lives in it, there's a whole, like, I remember one time I had a staging to do. I approached the house is in shambles,
Right.
totally in shambles. And the realtor is not a cleaning woman. She's not an organizer.
Right.
So there's a value that I'm bringing because I can provide those services in addition to supplementing whatever their furniture is
Right.
and highlighting it, enhancing it to make it attractive to buyers. So to your point, if you're a realtor, you have a very busy schedule. You should not be taking on that extra load of now being interior designer.
Right.
Explain it to your client as if it's the person who's your mortgage broker, an entity who does, you know, your appraisal, your assessment. Staging is another layer of the process
Right.
of selling a home successfully.
In other words, stay in your lane.
Staying in lane. You can do it, but I mean, you are the realtor. That's your specialty.
Right.
I could understand. It's like, okay, rearrange your furniture here and there, but you're kind of wasting time.
Yeah, and that's to your point, right? And that's
Yeah.
why you're doing what you're doing, because you understand there's a cost behind when it comes to staging your home. And you said, hey, there's certain things that I can do to roll back some of that cost and still maximize your return when you put your house on the market. So
Absolutely.
again, you coined that very well. So when it comes to staging, like what are some of the things that mystify? And clearly, you just said, time and cost, right? You pretty much answered that, right?
One of the biggest misconceptions I think there is about staging is that it's glamorous. That is so not true. Want to know what I am when I'm staging? A glorified moving company.
A glorified moving company.
That's right.
Okay.
Especially when I'm dealing with like a vacant property where there is not a stitch of furniture, not an artwork on the wall, nothing. I have to come with furniture. Moving truck, movers.
Right.
Nobody likes to move.
No
one likes that process.
No.
So that's the step one, moving all that furniture in and having an idea of, okay, what of my inventory is going to make sense in this space?
Right.
And how do I bring it to life to make someone, as soon as they walk through that door, feel like this is home, but at the same time, I can see myself in it. This isn't me moving into someone else's vision, someone else's memories, but this is some place that I could feel like I belong, almost like a hotel vibe.
It's a tough task, right? Because some people hold on to that, right? And they're like, what are you doing? How can you be doing this to me? And you're like, what? Hold on.
Yep.
This is
depersonalized.
Right. Take it all away.
Yep.
I'm here to service you to its maximum, right?
Yes.
Like, let me address what I need to address. And for whatever reason, the past is the past with some of your furniture, right?
Oh, I have to be like almost a therapist,
right?
Especially when it's a home staging, and even when it's interior design,
right?
When I'm doing a project for someone who's not selling their house, they're living in their house, but I have to come in and help them enhance it.
I think I referred you a client, right?
Yes, you did. We're working on a project. I mean, for that project, and those of you, you're not going to know, but Jimmy is amazing. He referred me to some clients of his, and they didn't know the first thing about interior design, and I didn't expect them to. So I kind of guided them through the process. And at first they had a budget of X. Right. But then as we kind of go through the process, they're like, actually, I want to do this. Actually, I want to do that. Right. So far we've done, they had plaster on their ceiling, sort of look like popcorn ceiling. We've gotten that removed.
Okay.
We've installed LED lighting.
Okay.
In the ceilings. We've installed light fixtures, and we are going to be done today doing painting. So it's like very exciting. Furniture procurement, we got sign off on that. So all of it is moving along very smoothly. I think sometimes it's that first step, right? It's so daunting, it's so overwhelming, but you need someone to give you guidance and help and perspective. And I'm really happy that I can do that. So a lot of times, like I said, I'm sort of like a therapist. Right. I'm your best friend. I'm approachable.
As you should,
Call
right?
me whenever,
Right.
I look at myself as a partner and a conduit, someone who's going to help you see your vision through and help execute it.
Which makes sense because, again, when you're buying a home in the state of New Jersey,
very expensive.
Expense is one thing, right? But they're old.
Yes,
right.
A lot of them
and
are
so
old.
That's what makes the project that more rewarding because you see like, wow, that yellow tile is still there and that blue tile is still there, right? And you're coming in there and then now you're adding your flavor and you're like, oh, it's like so night and day, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the fun things about doing some of that stuff.
It's fun, and at the same time, like, I'm glad you mentioned that, and if you don't mind, I'm gonna kind of get into an aspect of what I do.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, right?
Right.
But one other aspect of what I do is, I know a lot of you are fans of HGTV. God bless you. So am I. But please don't expect that that's going to be your reality, that somehow you'll come into money and have $100,000 to zhuzh up your house, to rip it out to the studs, and transform everything, and da-da-da. That's not the normal day-to-day client, you know? The day-to-day client's like, Nicole, I got $5K.
Right.
I don't want to do a demolition. I can't really afford that.
Right.
I have my house. I bought it when it was during the COVID pandemic. I locked in a great rate.
Right.
I don't really want to move right now, but I need to work with what I have.
Right.
And that's what I do. So it's like, how can I enhance the beauty of this dated kitchen?
And that's it's you nailed it, right? Because again, when one thinks about seeing certain things, whether it be through social media or HGTV, the expectations are here, and you're like, well, look, I only have X amount of dollars, and I need to work within this budget. So, again, it answers their questions, and you solve those solutions based off the budget they got, right?
Right.
That's it. Same thing when it comes to lending, right? It was like, yo, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, and you're like, whoa. This is going to cost this is going to cost that, this is going to cost this. So I'm always in the mindset of like, look, let's take your time. Let's understand your wants and your needs.
That part.
Right? You have to understand that, right? And in some cases, you can't have your cake and eat it because there's a premium behind it, right? So just like what you and I are doing, we're having a conversation about, look, you need this for your house, but I can afford this. I want to buy a house, but I don't have enough to make this monthly payment. What are we gonna do?
We gotta have a trade-off.
What are we gonna give? What are we gonna take? So again, like you said, it's a psychology thing, right? Where we have to talk to our client and measure where they can go with certain tolerances, and then say, okay, this is what we can do. This is what we have, and we're gonna make it work. Yep. That's awesome. And plus, when you're doing all the stuff that HGTV has, it's called permits. Do you know how hard it is to get town and officials and yada yada to come in, inspection and back and forth, before and after permits, and your taxes go up. So there's so many so many moving parts, and you just cannot I'm gonna do it. No,
like this.
Right. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no. It's not. It's not. I mean, so it's all about level setting, and it's a lot of communication.
Right.
A lot of communication. The other thing that can be pretty complicated, like contractors.
Right.
What have you done lately, Jimmy, in your home that you had to hire a contractor?
I have someone actually coming in next quarter to start. So I want to build this poker room, right? So and I got to plug in Janie from the boss team. She referred me to Alex, who's going to be doing the construction of my home. Good. My vision is to have this extravagant poker room, lounge area, the guys' world, right? So I have daughters, but when the guys come by and play poker, all that good stuff. Yeah. So he's going to come in and start doing some of that project next quarter. But that's the latest I've done. I did my kitchen over during the pandemic. But other than that, a lot of people did a big renos during Yep. But it's funny, right? I may have to redo it again.
What?
What? The wife.
Oh, okay.
She
watches HGTV
I don't
too?
think she there's certain things that she has seen that she feels like she can upgrade with certain with her lifestyle, right?
Gotcha.
Because it's her house.
Yeah.
So I'm just dealing with that part.
The reason why I brought up contractors is that tends to be the biggest wild card.
It is.
Of what I do, right? If we're just doing painting, wonderful. But as I told you with the client that you referred me to, there is also lighting that's getting installed.
Right.
There's popcorn ceilings getting removed, this, that, and the third. And one of the hardest things to find is a reliable, true blue contractor.
Yeah, that's a tough one, yeah.
I've definitely remixed my process along the way and learned a lot, as far as that. Luckily, nothing has ever blown up or been a negative. It's all come together because I get to have an amazing communication and contingency after contingency. But it's a lot.
Contingency are important. Right, that little safety net, right? Because God forbid something does go wrong, you need to have money to repair that, because sometimes it's something that you can't control, but because of the way the home structure is, you need to step in and save that money. So
older home, a lot of mystery.
Yeah, a lot of that
behind
goes into
the sheetrock.
So you do a lot of staging. How would you consider staging today in the health of real estate market?
Yeah, so staging today, a lot of times I get called with very nominal budgets of, I have this, I don't want to spend that. And I get contacted from realtors. Right. And realtors typically have me speak to their clients and explain the value of what it is that we do. So It's really interesting because with again staging, there's a lot of overhead with this job.
Right.
You know, you have a lot of inventory. You got to put your inventory somewhere.
Right.
There's trucks that you need to move a lot of things. And then there's also movers to be lugging things from here to there. And then there's the destaging. So you got to do it twice, you know,
I didn't know
to
about that.
and fro. Oh yeah. The house doesn't magically empty itself. Sometimes there'll be closing day, 2 days, you know, after, like I'll call up and I'm like, hey, when are we doing the D-stage? It's 30 days out, you know? Oh yeah, we have the people moving in 3 days from now. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I got to drop everything and kind of get ready for it all.
When a realtor's about to put a house on the market, are you part of the consultation package where you get on a Zoom call or you visit the client as well too to talk about some of the things that you do provide if they decide to use you when it comes to staging?
I'll get contacted from realtors who have heard of me or word of mouth, or I've done outreach to them in the past and then they have a need. It tends to be either or, right? Where I'm about to put the house on the market and I want to have it staged for photography and then open house and then showings and things like that. There's never anyone that says they have top dollar to provide for staging. Whatever their budget is, I tend to try to work with it. Like say, for instance, they have a budget that's a couple $1,000s and they're wanting to stage the entire house. I'm like, that's not reality. Because I have overhead that I have to be cognizant of. So I'll tell them we'll do the high impact rooms.
The high impact, okay.
So as soon as someone comes in the house, they fall in love and then they can kind of see the potential of it. But in terms of people who have never heard of me, realtors who have never heard of me, one of my goals for this year is to really expand my network and do more outreach to realtors so they understand the value. Something that a lot of realtors haven't done is extend their offering beyond just the sale process. Once that person moves in, what are you doing as a realtor after closing is done to say, here are some different services that I can refer you to of someone to make this house that you just bought a home now. And here's a decorator who can help you. I've been trying to do a lot more outreach to convey that positioning and that added value that they can provide to their clients. So it's a relationship, not I sold your property, I'm done. How about we give you other services that can really help enhance your
Which is important,
house.
right? Because it's all about how we can create the relationship, but also have a tool where anybody can use, like a plumber, a stager, like, you know, all these things in your box so that when your client's looking for something, they can just call you and still use you as a point of reference for the things that you're doing for their home. So
absolutely,
it works out really well. It does. So what are some of the goals you have for 2025?
Like I mentioned before, I want to expand my network of realtors, and I really want to crack that code, right, of them thinking beyond the closing process. And how do I provide services to my clients?
Okay.
But I just want to make sure that that is top of mind for the realtor community. So that's my mission.
That's your mission. Okay.
The other thing is, of course, I want more followers on social media. I want more Instagram followers. That is currency, right? Like it really is currency. It's so rewarding, right? When you do great work, but you need people to see it. You need people to know that you exist, right? So that's a huge part of my marketing and a huge part of awareness, right? Social media.
Hopefully
and
I can help, right?
appreciate you know, having me here on your show, so I have another platform to talk about it.
I love it. Let's
talk about it.
What led you to doing what you're doing today?
I think I mentioned like when it was about 2018, 2019, I was seeing a lot of different houses on the market. And I was just like, you know I can make that house better. I can make that house sellable. I was an apprentice to an interior stager, right? She didn't really focus on design, but staging. And I learned a lot about it. I studied it. I read a lot of books. I did a lot of research. And then I saw, again, you know, there's that opportunity. How do I tap into it? And the first opportunity that actually came my way professionally was for interior design. And interior design is essentially staging, but staging for living, to be practical, to figure out a person's lifestyle and how you can make it happen. And it was for a realtor who had an office suite, and he needed to, it was a blank slate, and he needed for me to come in and design it and make it functional to his needs. So that was my first opportunity. And then it just was opportunity after opportunity. The lion's share of my clients, believe it or not, is a dual role, right?
Right.
They might hire me first for staging, but then turn around and hire me for their own home for interior design.
Right. Which is
you
good.
You mentioned Janie.
Right.
Janie Wagner. Hi. Carlucci. She hired me first for interior design, but then hired me for home staging. And it's a really interesting phenomenon and very flattering, right? For someone to be a repeat client and use it for their own home.
Well, I saw you do that with Janie, Lindsay.
Yes.
And you did one project, which I love, Ed. And one of the things I saw you do that was very well, where Ashley
Pollard
needed your services, and she wanted to maximize the return for her client.
Yes.
And you showed the before and after, and I'm like, oh, this is how it went down. And and knowing Ashley, who she is, she's very thorough, and when it comes to certain decisions and how things are to be done when it comes to her listings. And I saw that, I was like, wow, I was blown away what you did. And it was like, it was good stuff. So
yeah, thank you so much. When it comes to and you mentioned you've seen my page, you've seen my work, and thank you for looking at my work and being,
of course, you're coming on my show. I gotta know certain, I gotta have something to talk about to let others know why you do what you're doing, and you're great at it. So let's give the kudos where it deserves, right?
Now with that, one of the things that you probably noticed on my page, that's unique is the human element of it, right? You'll see a lot of me, and yes, but you'll also see a lot of my clients. There's nothing more powerful than seeing the human reaction to your work. I can't fake that.
No, you can't.
I'm like, all right, let me tell you, come on into your house. I got the camera rolling, and I'm like, go. There's nothing scripted. There's nothing rehearsed. It's raw, pure reaction.
I love it. And that's why I'm bringing you on the Let's Talk About It podcast, because I love genuinely how you go about providing value to most of the clients that I know, and the clients that you continue to attain from wherever you're at, the walks of life, the networking, all that good stuff. We did meet at a networking event.
Yes,
and that's how
at the Real Social event.
Right, that's how we started that friendship. That said, so how do you put the cozy. You mentioned it. You attested to your vibe, right?
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean for someone who does not understand cozy staging?
Yeah. How do you want this room to make you feel? Right. That's my goal. And tell me about your lifestyle. I even interview the kids. I want the husband, the dog, everybody, because I want to make sure that we create this feeling for you. It's not about what's on Instagram. It's not about what's on HGTV. It's about what makes sense for you, what makes you feel good. Right. And the word cozy is a feeling, right? It's a feeling. Sprucing, it's not as intimidating, right? It's not as daunting as overhaul, renovation, cozy space, sprucer.
Word choice means plenty.
It's psychological. I guess you could tell I have a marketing background.
Clearly you have a marketing background.
But yeah, it's a feeling.
To your point, right? That word, it's powerful, right? Because when you are selling, or you want to feel comfortable in the house that you're living in, you want to feel cozy.
Yes.
And to your point, right, you're interviewing the kids, you're interviewing the spouses, you're making sure they have what they need. And especially now, many people that I know, they're pet owners. So now it's a big thing.
All
now,
of
right?
my clients are pet owners.
It's a big thing.
Dogs.
You got to make it comfortable for your furry friend, your furry family, right? So it's kind of fun to do, because at the same time, that's not something you did 4, 5, 6 years ago. Now it's becoming a part of family now, right?
Yes.
So that's I'm pretty sure that's an interesting conceptual way of making someone feel comfortable in their home with staging for their furry family
Yeah.
and their kids and then themselves,
And
right?
yeah, all of that makes an impact. When you mentioned that, it made me think of one of my clients. It's a retired couple in Jackson, and they have this dog, and just the sweetest dog. At the point of reveal, we're
Right.
going through the house, and then the client is so enamored with what she saw. She's crying. She hugs me. When I get those tears, it's like I start crying. It's so emotional. It's a psychological dance, of, oh, trust me, I'm going to make your home feel good. And then you turn around and see that emotion, that tender moment. It's priceless. I get chills thinking about it. But what I was going to say next, the woman's crying. She grabs me. She hugs me. She thanks me. She says, thank you. Do you know that dog said thank you? It's a woof, woof. Like on cue. Or cue.
Okay.
I'm going to send you the link.
I got to see
So
this
you
one.
have
right?
to see it. Woof, woof, like on cue. Like it said thank you. And I was like, I'm done.
All right.
Like this is
I'm done. You
drop the
telling me
mic.
the story. I'm done. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
It's like so powerful.
Well, hey, look. It is what it is, right? The clients are happy, you are happy, and now you have that on footage, so it definitely adds to what you're saying. Furry family, the person, right? Them who hired you and their kids, right?
Yes.
Right, the word this, right?
Yes.
That part. So what are some of the things you like to do outside of interior design, staging?
Family.
Okay.
Oh my God. The thing about me, I'm just like a person who feels super deeply. I love deeply. And when I'm around my family, that's fuel for me.
Okay.
So where do we go? I might take my sons to the mall, so I get that quality time with them. I might go to a museum, go to a show. I like surrounding myself with culture and energy and the types of things that give me inspiration. I love the outdoors, but damn it, it's like 8 degrees, 20 degrees here and there. So it's killing me that I can't be out there.
It's not just New York, New Jersey.
It's even Texas, snowing every south.
Yes,
deep,
in the south.
Deep freeze.
Yeah, so they got, it's like snow and beach.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? Snow and beach, right? So Mother Nature's actually taking its course this year on the cold. So winter is here. Definitely,
in
right?
a major way.
Well, Nicole, thank you so much for coming on Let's Talk About It. But for those who don't know where Nicole is or how to find Nicole, let people know where to find you.
Yes. So my Instagram handle is cozy space sprucer. And it's with cozy with a Z, in case you might think it's with an S. Also, cozyspacesprucer.com. That is my website. But I would love to help any of you, whether you're selling a home, whether you just want to remix your home that you've been in a while, whatever the situation, I'd love to help you with a consultation and we can take it from there. But thank you so much, Jimmy, for this opportunity to talk to you and your audience. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. So again, catch Let's Talk About It on your favorite streaming platform. I'm on Apple, I'm on Spotify, I'm on YouTube. Wherever you are, wherever you're gathering your information, whatever makes you happy to hear or see things, just type in Let's Talk About It by Jimmy Mortgage and you can hear of all the wonderful things that we got going on. Thank you again,
Awesome.
Nicole.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.